The Food and Drug Administration is allowing Juul, the brand widely blamed for sparking the teen vaping trend, to keep its e-cigarettes on the market. That decision, announced late last week, concludes a multi-year review that left the products in limbo. Juul is celebrating the move, but others are criticizing it, including Democratic Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, who claims the company ignited a youth vaping epidemic and is calling on FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary to reverse the decision. Dr. Makary joins us now. We've got many topics to touch on with you, but we'll start there on Juul. This is a controversial decision. Is it one that is set in stone for you? And how do you defend it to critics like Senator Durbin, who would like to see it reversed?
Yeah, so we have 30 million smokers in the United States that are using combustible cigarettes. That's bad for your health. It's the worst of all the products out there. And so doctors have found these vaping products, when they are not loaded with chemicals we don't know from illegal products in China, to be a valuable clinical tool to be able to transition people from smoking to a less harmful mode. Look, I don't want to see kids start vaping from scratch. It's a massive problem in the United States. 85% of the vaping products are illegal products where we don't even know what's in them. And they're coming in through our ports. We've had this system where we just say, no, thank you. They go back on the ships and they port shop to another U.S. port. And port shopping has basically meant 100% of it gets in. So we have to look at the distribution networks. We're going to stop port shopping. We have a big program. Look, we don't want to see kids starting vaping from scratch. And that is a big problem right now. These cutesy, fruity flavors, vaping products with video games on the vaping device designed to get kids addicted. They're banned in China, and they're now ubiquitous in these vaping stores. So we're taking a very serious look at this.
Yeah, important to keep an eye on that in light of this decision. I want to also ask you about something that the Secretary of Health and Human Services asked you to review. I think it was last month, looking at the latest data on mifepristone, more commonly known as the abortion pill. Is that review still ongoing? Has it begun? What are you looking at here? And why is it being reviewed in the first place, given the fact that there aren't safety concerns about this drug?
Yeah, so as a part of a regulation called the REMS, the Risk Evaluation and Mitigation Strategy, in prior administrations, there was a commitment to continually review data on mifepristone. So we're doing that. We're abiding by that regulation. That means we look at self-reported data in our adverse event reporting database. It means that when studies suggest that there's a safety signal in a large administrative database, we have to pay attention to that. For example, there could be a new drug that could have a drug-drug interaction with mifepristone. So we can't turn a blind eye to what's happening with safety signals with that drug or any drug. So that evaluation is ongoing.
But is it still true for you that you have no plans to take action on changing access to that drug?
That is true.
Okay. I also want to stay on women's health because there's some new work that you guys have been doing around hormone replacement therapy for women in menopause. This is something that women have shied away from in the past because of studies that incorrectly linked it to breast cancer. Talk a little bit about more of what you're finding here, what women should know.
So women live longer and feel better when they start hormone replacement therapy within 10 years of the onset of menopause. We're talking about estrogen or estrogen plus progesterone. Doctors had been prescribing it for decades with tremendous short-term health benefits for candidate women, which are most women. There are rare contraindications. But not only did they see the short-term benefits of alleviating the hot flashes and night sweats and weight gain and mood swings, but they also noticed tremendous long-term health benefits now validated in major studies and clinical trials. We're talking about reducing the #1 cause of death in women, that is fatal heart attacks, by 25 to 50%. I mean, that's more powerful than statins. Reducing cognitive decline by up to 64% and reducing the risk of Alzheimer's in one study by 35%. So we've got billion-dollar Alzheimer's drugs. We need to talk about prevention and the tremendous health benefits. Now, the FDA is not your doctor, but women have not been offered this medication, tragically, for 22 years because of a dogma after the announcement of a study in the media, before it even came out in the medical journals, that it increases your risk of breast cancer. Turns out that study did not show a statistically significant increase in breast cancer, and that's no subsequent clinical trial has ever found that it increases the risk of breast cancer mortality. And so that's valuable information every woman should know. Tragically, because we felt like in the medical field, well, we can't treat menopause and perimenopause.
Right.
Why even teach it? So there's little education. It's been massively underappreciated, underfunded. And so you have women that come in with symptoms of menopause. They're more likely to be prescribed an antidepressant today in America because this dogma still lives on. 50 million women over the last 22 years have been denied this powerful therapy, which may represent the number one or two most powerful therapy in improving the health outcomes of a population when it comes to women. And so every woman needs to know about this and watch our FDA expert panel that just took place.
I want to dive in a little bit on vaccinations, which obviously has been one of the central controversies with this administration, as you are aware. About a month ago, you guys put out new guidance with respect to the COVID vaccine. There was some pushback, but I think we're at a new place now. But I'm just sort of curious to step back even further. Have there been any discussions or plans that you are aware of or involved in to change the childhood vaccination schedule?
So the vaccination schedule is not at the FDA, it's at the
I understand, but are you
CDC.
aware of any plans or have you been in any discussions around the childhood vaccination schedule?
No, I have not. We're focused on the approval and regulatory framework, and we did modify that as we published in the New England Journal of Medicine because 85% of healthcare workers did not get the COVID booster last fall. I think people want to see some updated data. Does a healthy 12-year-old girl need a COVID booster every year in perpetuity at this point? So we said, look, for young, healthy Americans, we want to see a clinical trial. It's a reasonable time to check in. And if we're going to approve it in high-risk individuals, we'd like to ask the companies to then get the data after the approval. So that new framework, I think, is reasonable. It's been updated. Of course, it's a very polarizing issue, but I think we hit a very reasonable scientific sweet spot.
A very controversial issue and one that a lot of eyes are on. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary, thank you for coming on. I'm sure we'll have you back because there is so much to talk about in the space that you are working in. We'll leave it there for now.